Hello everyone, my name is Rayvenx and we are here for NGS match of Division A between Braincellmates and 9 to 5. I was in the middle of getting everything set up, realized teams had already done the coin toss and got everything ready to go already, so bear with me just a moment. I'm going to make sure we have everything Did not realize they were raring to go already, so I'm going to go ahead and kind of quickly get through setting up a couple of quick pre-game things. Hope everyone is doing good out there tonight. I have a double header this evening. Looking forward to the being able to make up, like I said in my last cast, I start halfway through the season, so I've got a little bit of catching up to do on getting casts done. So let's get these names for our teams in here. And I will go ahead and throw up our map draft. So if I have everything correct, we got bans by Braincellmates on Braxis and Dragonshire, and then bans by 9 to 5, Sky Temple Garden of Terror. Towers of Doom was picked up by Braincellmates. So we are starting game number 1 here in just a moment. Alright, got all the players' names in. I think I got all our information set up properly. Yep. So I'm going to go ahead and give the teams the go-ahead. And let's see, do I have... Let's see who picked Team 2, so Team 1, so I think I've got the teams in here correctly. If I have the players on the wrong side, I'll be really sad, but while they're loading the game up, I'm going to go ahead and throw us into our draft setup. This is between the number 5, 9 to 5, and the 11th place Braincellmates. Looking at teams, look like there's quite a bit of a spread between these two in the standings, but that does not always mean very much. So we'll see what teams do this evening and see how things go. MSCEO, probably never. At least not by me. Maybe I'll have someone stand in for me on a stream, but definitely not me. Alright, first band's coming out on the side of 9 to 5. We have Joe, followed by an Anduin band by Braincellmates. Dahaka band. Towers of Doom, great map for split pushing. Dahaka does that very well and can show up to take a tower and show up to a team fight on a different tower. So definitely a wonderful man for the map. And Garrosh. Garrosh, quite a bit of a nuisance if you are not prepared to deal with him, so getting him out of the way for a team that wants to go deep can be incredibly helpful for them. Alright, we'll see what our first pickup is. A Lucio. Map is great for rotation, so Lucio is very good at doing so. Leo Vala picked up in response. Vala, fantastic late game scaling hero. Leoric, good at double soaking and showing up and to help pick a target or a few during team fights. If my in-game sound is too high or too low, let me know. make an adjustment as needed. I have the music on, and I cannot turn it off because my hotkeys for that do not work for some reason. Nubarak, Li Ming, picked up for 9 to 5. Nubarak, just all around good tank for, doesn't do too well into being poked down, so I do worry a little bit into the Vala, but Ming backing him up, being able to throw bombs at the other team to force them off, that is a good counter option for them. TLV Man, incredibly annoying hero on the map, being able to cap multiple altars, shove lanes all over the place. Definitely frustrating to deal with. And then Rhaegar, our final ban, arguably the top healer in the game. One of my personal favorites, one of my personal best healers. So definitely a good response due to the fact that there is no healer on the board for Braincellmates as of yet. Ariel Murden. Ariel has a good battery in Vala. Helps add a little bit of wave clear to her team. And then Murden, just a good all-around tank in general. Allows him to trade damage effectively, better than basically any other tank in the game for those longer drawn-out fights. Oh, the Duke, thank you. I apologize. I knew I was missing something. Thank you very much. Alright, that has been updated. If you want to reload your stream, that should be fixed. Let me know if it's not showing up for whatever reason. Alright, last pickups on our draft. Zul'jin, Rexxar. Rexxar, not usually played on the map, but all around a decent offlaner. Might struggle into Leoric a little bit. Zul'jin, another stacking late game hero, much like Vala, so it's a good answer. And then Chromie, again, a good answer to Li Ming. So both teams actually look very, very balanced. I think the difference may lie in the offlane, just because Leoric, I feel like can beat a Rexxar out of lane if he gets his spooky hands onto Misha with any level of consistency, and the dual soaking is definitely in Leo's favor. So all in all, I do like both drafts. I would say left side Braincellmates probably would be the my go-to, but really kind of depends on how well we get stacked. 2 stacking heroes between Chromie and Vala for Braincellmates, so if the game goes long, there is the potential for them to just do incredibly well in the late game. So let me go ahead and turn off our volume, or our music, or at least turn down a little bit loud. Alright, so left side we have Braincellmates, the Duke on Murden, Akari on Leo, Amon playing the Ariel, Protoss Rule on Val, and Jaeger on Chromie. And on the right side we have 925, Ferret 102 playing Lucio, Mike Ike on the Rexxar, Mark on our Zul'jin. Not sure how to say the Nubarak, so somebody help me out with that. And Zombie Boss HD on Li Ming. I think it's Fu Fitting? Sounds about right. Alright, lots of poke damage coming out by the Chromie, but Leo in there taking quite a bit of damage. Team goes in to take advantage of that and gets first blood sub 30 seconds into the game. This will allow Braincellmates to be a little bit aggressive, though camp's not quite up just yet. Good pokes coming out by the Chromie onto everyone. Take a look, pull up talents, see what everyone selected at the very beginning. Both teams taking their camp at nearly the full 1 minute mark. Rexar actually comes down to try and help with a potential invade. Nope, goes ahead and goes back to lane. Just scaring off the wandering or hovering Muradin. Making sure that there was no invade coming there. Muradin jumping in on the backline. Team not quite able to follow up on that. They're going to go ahead and Muradin make his way out. Meanwhile, Anubrak eating quite a bit of damage of their own. Quite a bit of aggression going out on the Ariel, but Anubrak actually ends up paying for that. Meanwhile, in the top lane and mid lane, may have been wrong. Leo might actually be losing this dual soak battle. Ariel team actually rotating up, seeing if they can get the Rexar. Rexar's actually going to go ahead and make it to the wall, but Misha may not be as lucky yet. Actually, just barely making it back. Did we walk in any pumpkins? Does not look like it. Nine to 5 being consistently aggressive on their opponent's side of the map, trying to stop the rotations. Seems to be succeeding decently well. Slight advantage on the soak side of things. Oriole stepping up for an aggressive whip, not quite getting it. Alright, first tower phase. I would be interested to see. Usually you would see offlaners kind of each take their own tower while the 4-man duels bot lane, and then see who shows up first from the offlane to help. Looks like both teams opting to fight in lane. Newbrack stepping up, getting whipped into the wall, and then absolutely deleted, giving Braincellmates the advantage, though the Li Ming poke is going to make that a little bit difficult for Braincellmates to step up too far. Aggressive dive. Good peeled by the Lucio. Unfortunately, whip goes out onto Zul'jin and then ultimately taken down. So that is 2-0 so far on the kills for this tower. Let's see what kind of potential interrupt. Nice, just threads the needle with the orb. But I don't think there's going to be another interrupt at this point in time. Zul'jin just coming back up. So that is 2 towers to 1 in the favor of Braincellmates. Camps up once again for both teams. Zul'jin starting on the pumpkins, but however, it does look like the invade has been called, but towers or pumpkins ended up getting capped. Chromie level 8 coming online, being able to pop Lucio back, but not much follow-up to be had. Actually, I think more damage went out onto the side of Braincellmates during that. Towers, or pumpkins going in top, getting almost a full tower. Minions are going to go ahead and clean that up. A little bit of a structural advantage for the Rexar. Let's take a look at what our siege looks like. We go ahead and look for a gank attempt onto the Rexar. Whips the Misha away, doesn't quite get the Rexar. Let's see who's getting our soak here. XP total, Rexar slightly ahead. A lot of posturing in mid. Fuhu's fitting, looking for potential to hop on somebody, being very patient. Leo, not quite the target you want without some preemptive CC. 1 tower up, bot lane. It's like 9 to 5 going to potentially get there first. Nope, not quite. Another rewind goes out onto the Zul'jin, pulls the Zul'jin back. Zul'jin ultimately ends up going down despite the bombs going out on the back line. Actually, looks like Akari stepped up and also going down. So a 2 for nothing so far. Lots of damage out onto Muradin, but Jaeger able to actually finish the cap and almost picks up a 3rd kill. Protoss rules. Take a look at our talents now. 86 stacks of the Creed of the Hunter. Quite a lot of scaling. Quite a bit ahead, I think, of Zul'jin at this point. Level 10's picked up by both teams. Going to go for an engage onto the back line in the middle here. Not quite getting anything from it. Nubrak sitting in lane, going to try and look for something, but gets unstopped by Lucio. Not able to be stunned in place. Camp coming up once again for Braincellmates, and once again 9 to 5 looking to sit aggressively and not allow Braincellmates to pick this up. Rexar is down to help assist with this, but Leo not far behind. Murden caught up not too far, but there's a lot of fighting going on the backline while the Murden's up there dancing. Chromie goes down. The Ariel is web wrapped by their towers, so they got a little bit of a place to run. Also themselves, I'm gonna see if they can get a nice heal onto themselves. They do get knocked up, but trade Ariel for the Zul'jin. Protoss rule just barely walking away into their own wall. Leo throws out the Entomb, but it is on the Nisha and the Lucio, and Lucio can just walk out of there with his ult. So, third altar phase, one altar in mid lane. 9 to 5 has a nice setup. Fuwu fitting. Taking an aggressive posture. Misha also given a little bit of space. Murden jumps in, does not quite get the stun out in time. Misha pays for it, but ultimately that is more shots in for 9 to 5, 32 to 28. Still in favor of Braincellmates. Braincellmates looking to potentially invade on this camp. Rewan going out on the Nubrak dug a little bit too early to save themselves, but ultimately still ended up knocking back. Leo Entomb goes out, kills a Lucio. Zul'jin pops, has Dingo, but ends up going down ultimately anyway. 8 to 4 on kills in the favor of Braincellmates. Camp is going to get cleaned up by Braincellmates, allowing them to go now, opting to split push and take the camp, so they're going to get a little bit of value. Not a whole lot, because the wave clear is particularly strong without the Chromie. Fuwu fitting goes for a aggressive dive, not able to pick anyone up. Ming poking out, but these pumpkins look like they're likely going to get walked in. Yep. Go ahead, 2 in. 1 gets knocked out, but it also goes in, so almost a full wall. Both barely holding onto a tower. And our next altar phase, mid and bot. Leo walking in, maybe looking for a tomb, ultimately not, but we have a pause by Braincellmates. We have a disconnect. The Duke. Alright, looks like the Duke is back, so let the teams get back into it. Alright, so during this, we have 5 here for Braincellmates. Do get a nice Entomb onto the Lucio. Does ultimately go down. Rexar top doing a camp. Looks like Braincellmate's going to go ahead and slowly back out and pick up the mid-altar. Just barely stopped by the Rexar, so they're going to go ahead and do their fight. Meanwhile, the 4 versus 3 under tower here should be plenty of room for Braincellmates to pick up this bot tower. But top keep goes down for 9 to 5, so that keeps Braincellmates to only 3 shots. Meanwhile, we have still another tower here. Ming, nobody body blocking, so Ming's orb goes out onto the Ariel, but I don't think they're going to have any additional stops there. Akari taking a ton of damage, putting out the Entomb. Ult goes out from Ariel, saving him just barely, but still not quite enough. Protoss will taking quite a bit of damage. Ariel goes down. Protoss looks like making it back to their gate, while the Mark runs down Jaeger in bot lane. So 3 kills now to 9-5, giving them a little bit of a comeback opportunity. 9-5 also top, running down Muradin. 4 dead on the side of Braincellmates. See what 9-5 can do with that momentum. Opting to push bot while Rexar picks up their siege camp. Meanwhile, Braincellmates are going to go ahead and try and reclaim their top fort for this next phase. Now, looking at the teams, right at this point in time, I think the siege potential with the Nubarak goes more in favor of 9-5. And now that they have this bottom fort, they do have the potential to hold this for quite a while. And see if they can walk in 2 sets of pumpkins. That would be 6 shots for them. Ming a little bit further behind, so there are 4v5 for just the moment. 16s for both teams. We're going to throw up talents while this engagement occurs. Akari in, trying to mitigate damage with the Wraithwalk talents. Not quite able to do that. They are, Braincellmates are able to kill all 6 pumpkins, so no damage, no shots going in from those. We do have 2 towers up. Top lane. Oh, 3 towers. One of those picked up by 9-5. So 9-5 and Braincellmates going to go ahead and trade the next 2. That still is in favor of Braincellmates, but that have cut their lead by a pretty substantial amount. They are down to 3 points. And Braincellmates aren't able to take this fort back bot, so 9-5 able to just kind of sit tight and babysit while Rexar does offlane things, potentially looking to take another tower with the camps. Mark getting some stacks and some damage, but is in a little bit of an island. On stop goes out from Lucio, and speed will allow the Zul'jin to walk away relatively unharmed. So Leo, I like what they're going for. They're trying to get the kills, but unfortunately this is allowing Rexar to kind of do whatever they want. Whole team rotates up. We're gonna look for take boss. We just looking to, it looks like they are gonna ultimately take it. This does, I mean, it gets boss on the board, will give them a lead. Let's see if 9-5 smells it. Looks like they got it, they have it, but they're a little bit too late, opting now to push mid instead. So that does put Braincellmates, keep Braincellmates in the lead. I always do that, I have the scores backwards. So Braincellmates takes a bigger lead. (18-18) still, 1 tower apiece. Anubara going in deep, gets a lot of stuns. Unfortunately, Entomb has to dig out. Everyone's going hard for these. Misha going in, but is going to get taken out. Rewind's going out on somebody, didn't even see who. Mark popping the unkillable. Gonna try and keep them alive as long as possible. Heals going out. Poke war actually kind of going in favor of the Ming. Ring resets are going to be massive. Muradin goes down. Lots of healing coming out from Ariel, but it may not matter. Meanwhile, shots go in bottom from the camp, and 9-5 ends up picking up the opponent's tower. Does put them in the lead for, I think, the first time, at least in a while. And then they take the second tower with bot fort giving them 5 shots. They are now at a 15-9 lead, while also being half a level ahead to level 20. Braincellmates attempting to take bot fort back, but 9-5 saying, this is our tower. We are going to come back and keep it. Committing all 5 to the camp. at least for the time being. Yep. Camp's gonna walk in. They're gonna see if they can go ahead and walk that in. Meanwhile, Rex are going to attempt to try and pick up the level 20s for their team while Leo is trying to close the gap. And the 4-man of 9 to 5 posturing bot lane. It's kind of hard to walk these in. Well, I say that, they get one in. So just one. 8 to 15. It is difficult to walk them in when the other team is defending from the death zone, but it is not impossible. Level 20 is now picked up by 9 to 5. It looks like Braincellmates will also pick up level 20s before the next altar phase. Zul'jin siege like a madman, going to be able to do quite a bit of damage. The Duke up here trying to push off the other team. Meanwhile, 9 to 5 still has a couple people down here defending bot fort. Posturing mid, both teams looking for an aggressive engagement. Ends up going a ton of damage going out onto both backlines of Braincellmates, but Zul'jin also going down. Leo goes down 3 to 1 so far. Poor Ariel kind of not in a good spot. They go down, so it's just Muradin versus Lucio, but friends will be here soon to give Lucio some assistance. The Duke having to jump out, and this is probably going to be game number 1 to 925. 2 towers virtually uncontested. Good games all around from both teams. Take a look at our post-game stats. Did not realize I was in the draft screen that entire game. My apologies. All right, taking a look at our post-game, we have a spread. Everyone has a variety of damage. Li Ming coming out on top by 10k over the Vala, 4k behind the Vala, Zul'jin, and then Chromie slightly behind that. So backline both did quite a bit, but the deaths paint a very big different picture for the team. You got 2 deaths, or combined 4 from Vala, Chromie, 5 on the Zul'jin, so almost even there. Go ahead and update our winner, red team. Looks like game 2 is going to be on Infernal Shrines. First pick selected by Braincellmates. Take a look at our soak here. Not a substantial difference between the two. There's quite a bit more siege by Leo, but Rexar being able to walk in camps quite a bit helped tremendously for 9 to 5. They were able to get several, I don't know how many camps, at least 4 that I remember, but I think there was a whole nother set of 3 or so that went in bot. So like 7 shots purely off of camps for 9 to 5. So that was a big help in their favor. Take a look at our map. So game number 2, Infernal Shrines, selected by 9 to 5. First pick. Was it selected? I may have that backwards. Because I think I have the teams backwards. Good. Remove. Nope, I have the teams right. Okay. So I'm gonna make sure I have who picked what. Yep, everything right. Okay, I'm just paranoid. Alright. Teams are ready to go once again. Well, almost ready to go. Go ahead and update our score. Oh, score updates itself. I love the tools that casters have available to them. Shout out to the developers of Soothsayer, our tool that the casting team uses to update stats in the middle of games. It is incredibly helpful. In the meantime, and in the stream, Northern Touch, thank you for your follow very much. I appreciate you. And then off stream beforehand, Saddleburr, if you are watching, thank you as well. It was like Braincellmates having a little bit of a struggle to get their tank back in the game. There they are. So that was not a free win by any means. Both teams played very well. I chose Braincellmates based on draft, but excuse me, Knight of 5 was able to make great use of their tools to pull out a victory. Both teams ready. I'm ready. Let's start game number 2. This Div A Nexus Gaming Series, Braincellmates versus 9 to 5. 9 to 5 up, 1-0 going into game 2 on Infernal Shrines. Alright, let's see. Let's do some of these. Who will win? We'll give a submission of, let's say, 5 minutes. Braincellmates versus 9 to 5. Who do you guys think will win? You have 5 minutes to make the prediction based on who you like and how this draft goes. So far, 2 bans the same. Lucio, a new one. Lucio was played incredibly well in the first game, so not surprising. Dahaka, once again, a really good ban in general, and especially for a map where the ability to dig in and be an absolute nightmare to the backline is a very real possibility. First pickup, Blaze. Great offlane, or potentially tank, but most likely an offlane. Good for just in general. Blaze does a lot of things very well. Save tools for team, great area control, dual soaking, does shrine very well. Just Blaze all around good on the map. Diablo Rhaegar picked up in response. Again, 2 heroes. Rhaegar in general, very strong healer. Good PvE as well as strong late game healing. And Diablo, an absolute nuisance in a small area such as Infernal Shrines. Stukov Mephisto. So Stukov means the potential for a pick comp is coming. Mephisto, a strong Infernal Shrines character, the ability to just put out a ton of damage during objective phases. So I'd like to see some kind of ban, maybe a Varian. Leoric. Leoric was problematic a few times on Braincellmates' side, and they are good, not necessarily a counter to Blaze, but they are a good way answer when it comes to responding in terms of dual soak and whatnot. A Falstad ban coming out by Braincellmates. Decent hero for the map. Split soaking is an option, but Gust in these small areas is good for them. Potential disengage concerned. So with the pick comp, there's a potential for Wombo. But Vala, speaking of Wombo potential, Diablo Orphea is a good combo. Vala, Orphea, both just really good damage. Potential AoE, percent damage. Just in general, just putting out large amounts of damage in a short period of time. Sergeant Hammer and Murden. So Hammer, always a spicy pick, but this is one of their best maps to just exist. We'll have to talk about that in a moment. Murden, again, being just a strong tank in general. So Lost Vikings, with the 4-man that 9to5 has showing here, that is an incredibly strong pick for them. Vikings can do what Vikings do while the 4-man just wreaks havoc. But we'll see what kind of team fight they can bring in the late game. Definitely early game advantage. I'd say early game advantage goes to Braincellmates, just due to the oppressive stylings of Sergeant Hammer. Welcome to the stream, Brandon. Alrighty, game number 2, we have in our blue team, Braincellmates, Protoss Rule on the Mephisto, Stukov being played by Amon, the Duke, once again on Murden, Jaeger on the other tank, Sergeant Hammer, and Akari on the Blaze. And on the red side, Pharaoh 102 rocking the Rexar, Mark playing Vala, Zombie Boss HD on the Orphea, Fu Fitting playing the Lord of Terror, and Mike Ike playing the Lost Vikings. So again, I definitely give early game advantage here. It's going to be a little bit of a struggle bus for 9to5. All they need to look at getting their level 10s and blowing up the other team, but Orphea gets shots like that all game, that's going to not be too hard for them to exist. A lot of damage going out onto Diablo. Silence Pool sitting right under the Demon Lord, but not a lot of damage to follow up just yet. Barrett rotating down alone. 4-man being able to rotate while TLV soaks gives them a little bit of an advantage when it comes to holding priority in our lanes. Camp spawning for both teams. And 9to5 opting to go for the neutral camp bottom. Thank you. Forgot that last game as well. So engrossed with the game and the draft that changing scenes is too much focus. So I think Blaze should have a little bit of advantage in the offlane up here. Blaze will be able to shove down towers, be able to secure the towers pretty readily. So that will be an early game advantage in the offlane, unless 9to5 can go up to pressure him off just a little bit. But Blaze being Blaze, I don't see that happening. Braincellmates sharking a little bit. So they're gonna go ahead and hold vision here. Put some damage out on Diablo. Diablo opts to get out quite a bit of a silence pool. Again, a lot of damage, but not quite able to secure kills, especially with Hammer holding bottom. Looks like 1-3-1 being the case, or the strategy for Braincellmates, since Hammer does not rotate very well. Take a look at our talents. Soul Shield, Colossal Totem, Critted Hunter, Viking Bribery. I don't see that one too often myself. Q build coming out from Orphea. Meanwhile, W build looks like for our Mephisto. Puddle, Standard Blaze Things, Advanced Artillery. Going out for that gank on Blaze. Blaze goes to get out, but ends up getting pulled in. Nice body blocking going on by Diablo, but not quite able to fully keep them in place. Kari gets out with just under 400 damage. Or 400 health, rather. Alright, so this is where the Vikings can shine. The Duke getting grabbed. A ton of damage going out on them. They're actually able to secure the kill for 9-5, and that, surprisingly, their team fight is actually a lot stronger than I guess I anticipated that would be. TLV, like I said, gets to do TLV things, but it looks like Hammer's doing Hammer things. And there's not a whole lot that the TLV can really do about that. There's not, you can't really put a ton of damage with the early game TLV onto Hammer, so somebody else is going to have to rotate out to deal with it. 9-5 looking like they're going to go ahead and be able to pick up this tower, or the objective first. Braincellmates jumping in to try and do accomplish a little bit. Stun going out onto Diablo. I think at this point though, let's see, 4-4, lots of damage out. Yeah, too much of a lead by 9-5. I think if Braincellmates shows up a little bit earlier to that, they have a chance. But again, Hammer getting value, so. Punisher gets triple root, but not really any way for 9-5 to follow up on that. So Orphea has the capability of following up on, giant 4-man stun coming out by Blaze. But again, clearing the objective, backline wasn't able to do much to assist with that. And when you got Mephisto, you're basically running a hyper carry Mephisto, which they can do that. But Hammer's going to have to be careful. Hammer's going to get rotated on. Z's away. That's going to run out in just a moment. But Mark uses the roll, I think, a little bit too early, not able to put a ton of damage onto the Hammer. So Hammer gets actually more value than the objective got for 9-5, which makes sense because early game Shrine Guardians, or Shrine Punishers, are not incredibly powerful. So all in all, so far, 1 kill. Murden sitting in, keeping Diablo from looking for anyone. Again, Diablo able to eat a ton of damage sitting in that puddle. Camp taken by both teams. Both teams are going to look to try and clean it up. Blaze does ultimately get this full wall top here, so. But despite that, despite everything that Braincellmates has got, TLV I think has allowed 9-5 to get ahead quite a bit. Yeah, the experience difference is substantial there. Though overall, it's not super significant. About 1,500. Half a level. Diablo goes in, pops their ult. Looks like maybe they thought that they were going to be able to have follow up on a pick here, but that did not occur. Blaze getting damage onto this top fort. This bottom fort also looking pretty worse for wear. You're going to have to be careful. The 9-5 looking to punish this aggressive positioning. So do we have unstop from... We do, but it only matters on siege mode, so not too much that they can do if they get grabbed after they end siege. So camp stop, Blaze cleans up the uh, Bruiser from 9 to 5. 9 to 5, gonna go ahead and clean it up. Clean the other camp up. Double stun going out. Mark taking quite a bit of damage. Root goes out. Diablo gets unstopped from Rhaegar. Rhaegar gets rooted. Diablo goes in. This is a 5v4. There is no Vikings to assist. Bunker goes out to stop the Lightning Breath from doing a substantial amount of damage. All ults out from 9 to 5. Stun goes in, misses. The Duke hopping on the backline. Mark taking a tremendous amount of damage. Level 13's coming out. Shrine Guardian kill advantage to Braincellmates. They'll be able to pick this Shrine up and counter push. So Vikings are still going to do Viking things. They're pretty much going to forever be in the lead. I'm going to pull the Immortal, or pull the Punisher, but it doesn't matter too much. The Murden goes in looking for a kill, but actually gets killed themselves. Probably took quite a bit of damage under fort. Then the Punisher gets cleaned up. Just the wall being taken by Braincellmates. So that actually, because the Vikings, does not go in favor of Braincellmates, because Vikings get XP soak, and that kill in additional puts them even further ahead, almost a full level at this point. Lays and Alog fighting up here top lane. Middle, we have a potential team fight coming out. Nice stun out onto the Stukov. Swipe gets cancelled by the stun. That was a good play by Vala. And Stukov goes down. Mark just pinging away at the wall. Well, Zombie Boss up here trying to help get Akari off. It's actually going to be able to poke pretty heavily if Akari doesn't dodge. Oh, good bunker to see if they can dodge the last ability. And they do. That was a great save of themselves by Akari. Protoss Rule has the... which talent is that? Spite, I believe? Where's it at? Shard of Hate. Help the wave bear just a little bit. Jaeger gets slowed. It's able to walk away. 16's, again, advantage. Just getting bigger and bigger by 9 to 5. This is the best time for 9 to 5 to go ahead and force whatever they want. Let's take a look at what's our Vikings talent. So we have charge, we have jump, so spin. So these are all team fight talents. So Vikings can show up and be somewhat of a nuisance. Blaze still trying to get this top fort. No forts down on either side as of yet. It's actually not something you see too often. Actually, is the we're level 16s almost for both teams. Yet not a single fort is down currently. Level 16 advantage allows 9 to 5 to engage. Able to get a kill on the Stukov. Maybe get more. Zombie Boss gets healed to full. Camp gets stolen by 9 to 5. Unfortunately for Braincellmates, fighting down 16s and losing 2 members in the camp. First fort does go down by Braincellmates. Jaeger ended up being able to pick that up, but that split push strategy is going to be a problem as we get later and later into the game. Hammer will need to show up to these shrines to be able to have any hope for Braincellmates to actually take them and utilize them as the game goes longer. 9 to 5 able to pick up or start a head start on the objective. Mike Ike has Olaf around. I'm going to go ahead and check for camp. Looks like they can bribe it, so there's a camp that will put pressure in bot lane. while they basically get this objective for free, get this camp for free, Braincellmates opting to go ahead and go and secure top fort, get some pressure in that lane, at least until this fort drops. Mid fort, I don't remember when that one went down. We now have camp pushing in 2 lanes, 4 9 to 5, and an objective pushing bot lane as well. Ult comes up from the Mephisto landing, but no follow-up really be able to be had with the Punisher pushing, but Punisher does get cleaned up, but just to keep wall being taken by 9 to 5. They're level and a half ahead to level 20. Look, just kind of sharking around. Looks like they're going to go ahead and pick up the top fort as well, evening out the pressure in top lane. At this point, the question becomes, how does Braincellmates want to try and get back into this? It's too late to try and take a pre-20 fight. Their only option is to try and get picks. Looks like they're going to go for potentially the Vikings, but that's going to put people in a not a great position while 9 to 5 goes looking for kills here in the bottom lane. Akari in a little bit of a rough spot. He actually dives out of the way, putting Diablo a little bit too far, but Stukov gets grabbed. Follow-up stun by Mike Ike and then blown to smithereens. Walker comes out. Not quite. Zoomed in a little bit much. Oh. Blaze goes for stun, not able to secure it. Rhaegar healing the team to full. Fireflight Quiver online for Vala, so they are going to poke for days. Blaze going down. Protester will just barely being able to walk out. Nice charge and follow-up by Diablo. Protester getting so low, but now 3 dead. Got to go ahead and secure a keep. Can't end the game without a keep. Got quite a bit of time though for 9 to 5 to push in on core now. The only real hope for Braincellmates is and massive amounts of resets, and they're getting it, and lots of damage coming out from Mephisto. Root goes on Diablo, stun goes out onto Mephisto. The Duke trying to keep damage out. Diablo barely being able to live, and Mephisto, unfortunately, the last hope for Braincellmates, ultimately going down. I think that is game number 2 going to 9 to 5. Take a look at our post-screen stats. Damage to Vala and Mephisto. Sounds about right. Not a lot of damage from Hammer. Hammer did other things, though, on the map. Not quite able to match the Vikings siege, but did a decent amount of split pushing to give as much pressure as they possibly could, but ultimately the Vikings being a little bit too strong when it comes to the soak game. Bear with me, I gotta check. I do have another cast this evening. I'm gonna go ahead and take a look at what time that is. So we've got about an hour. I will stay live. I'm probably gonna play a game or two myself in between the cast. But 11 o'clock I will be casting the Div B West Bunker Fun Time versus Roll One Esports. So, but finishing up here, just want to go over our post game. We have 9 to 5 winning 2-0 over Braincellmates. These are our maps, bans, picks, outcomes. Um, looking at the standings in Div A, like I was saying earlier, let's get back to Div A. There we go. 9 to 5 was in 5th place. That gives them a domination of 3 more points. Braincellmates is currently at 11th place in their division. Well, let's take a look. So we message our captain on side of 9 to 5. I haven't really been doing interviews because I'm always very awkward with them, but I will see if the captain wants to come in and just chat about his game, teams, how the team is done and whatnot. Give some shout outs. Alright, looks like we're going to get Zombie Boss for our post game. Nope, that wrong screen. Let's hop into casting lobby and bring them in here. Alright, just a moment. And I can drag them. There we go, drag you to the correct channel. Can you hear me? How's it going?
Going good, going good.
Glad to hear it. Congratulations on the 2-0 victory.
Yeah, of course.
Alrighty, so let me go with the game that I have the freshest in my mind. So, game 2, Infernal Shrines, was TLV always the plan?
Was the Lost Vikings? I think we had it in our minds at the beginning, and if they didn't ban it, we were definitely gonna go Lost Vikings. Because our Lost Vikings is the go. I don't know what to say.
They definitely were the goat when it came to Soak, 35,000 to Blaze's 13,000, which is just kind of a inevitability with the hero with the Vikings.
Yeah,
So
no, they were very helpful there, especially with the lead we had. They just let us extend it so much with the XP.
right, you guys were able to you took first objective. Hammer stayed bot, shoved in the bottom. Did you guys opt to just ignore that intentionally, or were you like your Vikings could just do things regardless of that?
Yeah, we saw that they were pushing, and at first we were thinking about sending someone, but we just decided no, we can just 4v5 this, win this objective, and do a much better job at it. We got a lot more value off pushing that top, and I don't even think they got the bot terror till way later.
Much
If
later.
they, I don't even remember if they got it.
Yeah, so first tower didn't go down until after level 16. So yeah,
Yeah,
definitely the favor Soak and you guys continued to get more and more of an experience lead as the game went on. I did initially give you guys the. Actually, actually I said hammer would probably have the advantage early game, but I think without hammer showing up to objective to really give you guys a hard time 5v4, you guys got more advantage than you probably should have between the DLB and the objectives.
I think we said in it because someone pointed out how Lost Vikings wasn't good for or wasn't good for Hammer, but we went our Lost Vikings is uncounterable. What can we say? He's just too good. So we are like we can leave him to. We trusted him to deal with it, and it worked out in our favor. What can I say?
All right, it definitely. So looking, let's see, nothing. I don't think there's anything that came out of place. I see play again. I don't recall ever seeing it actually used, because Vikings never died. So um,
Yes.
only Diablo. So you guys, I'm hoping that you guys flame
We
forward
realized that
for
at the very end too.
that.
I think
Tight.
he did the ulti at the very end so we could win with the after we got the second kills at the very end, just to push the core, if I remember
Right. correctly. Did he die right at the end? I didn't even see that.
Yeah, he
Honestly,
used
I
it
was.
just at the end.
I know he took the bigger Hellstorm or Hellstorm bigger flames. But all right. So game number one. Let me find it. So Towers of Doom. So you guys picked both maps. No, you did not. You picked the second map.
Yep.
So going into Towers of Doom, how did you guys feel about that game?
Um, pretty good. Towers is our like first pick anyway. Whenever we want to play, it's our favorite map to play on. If it wasn't very apparent, we're really good on it.
Yeah,
I
it.
personally,
Go ahead.
at the very beginning, I'm not gonna lie, we got a little far down, and I thought it was over. I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was gonna spiral, but I think we brought it back really, really well.
Yeah, so there was it was a pretty back and forth game, and
Mhm.
then you guys started walking in camps, and then just taking towers. Like your offlaner, your Rexar was able to just take a tower, take a camp, walk into camp. Meanwhile, you guys managed to take bot, and it was kind of at that point that you guys were able to just control everything. And there was I think when you guys were bot, when Braincellmates took boss, were you guys at any point aware that that was going on, or did you just not care too much about it?
Yeah, so we said something about it, but we just kind of like ignored it. We were like, we can just push bot and push other places to get a bigger advantage. They're gonna get a little bit of health, but we have the health to spare. And honestly, I think we just pushed them in a lot better than they could us.
Yeah, looking at the heroes, I am actually surprised because I would expect that Chroma Vala would have better wave clear over what you guys had, but I think you guys were just better at just removing enemy heroes from the map that it didn't really matter
Yeah, I
a
think we
lot.
just pushed them too hard that they couldn't really be close in enough to do anything. I think we just kind of killed them faster than they could do anything.
Yep, definitely. Well, again, good games. Congrats, you guys
Yep, yep.
are. Let's see, you're pushing for a three-way tie for fourth place in your
Ooh.
division, third place in your division.
Ooh.
After tonight, it looks like you guys will be one game ahead. So looks like you're still kind of hovering that mid-level. Looking, you guys have 3 dominations, 7-6 on your games won. It will be 9-6 after this evening. How was the rest of your division or the rest of your season looked up to this point?
I think at the very beginning we were kind of trolling. I'm not gonna lie. I think we'd not practiced too much, so we were like still figuring things out. But I think after the first two sets, we figured it out, and we've just been kind of like rolling with it,
Good.
just picking what we're comfortable with and it working.
Yeah. As the more you play, are you guys a new team together, or have you guys been together for a while?
We've played games together, but we've never really like had a team like this. So it was just kind of a last minute thing. We put it together, and we're just playing our best. What can we say?
Of course. Well, is there any shout outs you want to give this evening?
Shout out to our tank for the only one dying that last game. What can I say? That's our goat. Um, but other than that, not really. I have a Twitch if anyone wants to go see that. I might stream these more.
All right. Well, I appreciate you guys being prompt and ready to go when the game actually you guys were ready before me. So I had a lot of fun. Good luck to you guys the rest of your season. And
Appreciate it.
again, congrats on the 2-0.
Thank you. Thank you.
Have a good night.
Have a good one.
Alrighty. Alrighty. So, like I said, I have another match in an hour. I'm gonna play